Today I'm testing several Red River papers. I'm using the Epson EcoTank 8550 printer. All the test prints printed here I used Red River's ICC profiles. I did not use the ABW mode at all on any of these. I attempted to choose photos I have that would best suit the paper I was printing on. All images were printed with relative color metric and black point compensation on. While printing, I made sure that the highest print quality was always set. The rear upright paper feed was used for all prints, as the straight-through rear path is way too inconvenient to use, and most of the time it's way too time-consuming. At least with my use it has been. Here is Red River's Linen 2.0, and I chose a black and white image for this. The texture of the paper is quite unique. I doubt it will show up on my camera, but it's definitely a paper that surprised me. I wasn't expecting this kind of quality out of this type of paper. So the surface finish is a little unusual. It's quite textured, but it's beautiful in its own right. I only had one sheet, so I wasn't able to see what a color image would look like. It does have good detail and sharpness. It does do a pretty good job with the blacks, and it has good curl resistance as it seems to lay pretty flat. The next paper is a 60-pound Ultra Pro Satin 4.0. I chose a very bright and colorful image with a lot of blacks just to see how well it would do with that color, and it does a pretty amazing job. All in all, it's a beautiful paper. It is one that I would purchase again, and it has good color reproduction, has a beautiful glossy finish, or I should say a satin finish. It has great detail and sharpness, and it lays pretty flat, so it has good curl resistance. And here's another image with similar bright colors printed on the same paper, and it gives you an idea of how much sheen and reflection is on the paper, but it also shows you the ability of it to reproduce fine details like in the grass. I think it would be a good paper for black and white also. However, I didn't test it with black and white. It does have good detail and sharpness, and it has good curl resistance. Now here's the 68-pound Ultra Pro Gloss, and I think it's Red River's glossy paper. You can see it has some reflection in it. Of course it would, because it's a gloss paper. It's a smooth finish. I did not test a color image with this paper, only black and white, but it did a great job on reproducing the dark shadows, and the cat has really good detail to it, and so I think it has good detail and sharpness. It's very curl resistant. I laid it flat and it stayed flat. And I think its best use cases would be any place you'd use a glossy paper. This one would compete with any of the others on the market. These next three papers are all metal papers, metallic papers. This one here is the Polar Luster Metallic 255. And I chose a fitting image for this paper, I think. I tried with all the papers to choose just an image that would suit the paper best, and this paper does a good job. It does have some reflection to it. Of course, you got to expect that out of a metal paper. But anyway, that's Polar Luster Metallic 255. The next one is Polar Gloss Metallic 255. And again, I tried to choose an image that would suit the paper best. And this paper is gorgeous, and I imagine for some images it probably wouldn't work well, but for other images it can work real well. The surface finish is beautiful. It has great color reproduction, beautiful detail and sharpness. I mean, you can just see the feathers on the bird, and it's good. Has good curl resistance to it also. And then Polar Gloss Metallic 255. This one, I chose a black and white image, and you can just see how much detail is in this. And this paper just does a great job at showing the detail. It also has a pretty good characteristics when looking at really dark spots of the image. It seems to still show pretty good detail. And it's a glossy surface, and beautiful for black and white, I think, and has good detail and sharpness, and it also has good curl resistance to it. Now this one here is Aurora's Art White 300. I have been using the Aurora Art White and the Aurora Art Natural in their lighter paper. I think it's called the 250, and seem to get really nice results with this paper. I had yet to try the 300, but it looks like if the 300 is going to work in my rear upright feed path on the EcoTank 8550, I will purchase some of the heavier stock, as I really like this paper. You can see it does a good job on the blacks, but also a good job with the texture. And all in all, I think this is a great paper, and it's one that I will continue to use. The next paper was a Pecos River Gloss 230. And I love this paper. It has beautiful color reproduction. I like the type of paper. It's not too shiny. But if you look closely, you can see the lines typical of the EcoTank 8550 bashing up the paper with the pizza wheel marks. And so since I'm only using my rear upright feed path, I'll have to put this paper to the side as it won't work for me. But it does have a beautiful finish. The surface finish is gorgeous, great color reproduction. It does fantastic with black and white. It has good curl resistance. And I think it's a great paper for those that can get it out of their printer without the pizza wheel marks. Anybody using EcoTank 8550, if you use the rear straight through path, it may print on that without the problem. I don't know. But for my use, I can't use it because of it's getting marked up going through the printer. And here's another Palo Duro soft gloss rag that also exhibited marks when I printed it, which I felt terrible about because, well, I really liked the looks of the critter in the black and white here. But if you look closely, you'll see there's marks again in the same spot on the paper, usually 1 3/4 inches down here, and then 1 3/4 inches up here is usually where the marks come. And you have to look closely, but the marks are there. And I gift a lot of my photos, and so it's hard for me to gift a photo if I know it's not my best work. And when the printer's marking up the paper like this, it just means I'm not going to use that paper, which saddens me because I really love this paper. Now here's the 68-pound Ultra Pro Gloss. And I think it does an extremely nice job for this type of image. It shows the colors real well, but it also shows very good detail in the bird's feathers, which some papers just can't show that detail, but this does a good job. It has a nice surface finish. It does great color reproduction. It Its black and white performance is pretty good. Its detail and sharpness is really good, I feel. And it has a medium ability on its curling, I guess. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's pretty good. And this paper here is the Ultra Pro Luster 300. And I chose this image because I thought it'd work well on a luster paper. And it does. It seems to have really good quality of detail on this cloud. And you can see a little bit of the ripples in the paper, kind of the texture to it. And all in all, it's a beautiful paper. It has beautiful surface finish. Its color reproduction is good. I haven't used it with black and white, so I'm not sure how well it'll work there. It has good detail and sharpness, and it has good handling, and the curl resistance is good. I see very little curl in it. So it's one that I would continue to use. And last but not least is the 60-pound Polar Mat. And I've been using the Polar Mat for quite some time now. And I find it to be an excellent paper, and it's inexpensive. So it's a good test paper prior to printing on something a little more expensive. But you can see as a test paper, it has phenomenal black and white performance. I mean, it does a great job of showing detail in the dark areas and the light areas. It has a beautiful surface finish. It's a matte finish. It also works really well with color images. And it's extremely curl resistant. All in all, it's one of my favorite papers. This paper here is Big Bend Baryta, and I thought it would work well in the printer, but it did not. It also left lines, and you can't really see them as they've cleared up a little bit over time, but usually in the same spot across the image. And for me, once I know they're there, it's hard for me not to know they're there, and so I just can't move forward with the paper. But the paper itself does do a beautiful job of reproducing blacks, and detail and sharpness is excellent, and it's pretty good at not holding a curl. This again is Big Bend Baryta, and it too has the marks on it. If you look closely, you can see them. They're just very faint, but they're there, and I just, again, it's hard for me to use a paper if I know that it's not giving me 100%. So that kind of wraps it up. Hope this helps other users that are considering Red River's papers, as I feel they're a great paper. And certain papers work better for certain images, of course. And for those of you using the EcoTank 8550, this kind of gives you an idea of what to expect if you're using the rear upright feed path. Thanks for watching.